and you grow them yourself. Blackberries, blueberries, and once again, if you plant blueberries, it's best to do it in a pot in acidic soil. But if you plant them in the ground, use amend with a lot of peat moss. Guava, I have 2 different guavas. So beautiful. I love guavas, man. Guava, the scent of a guava is just fantastic. Some people hate it. I love it. Got 2 different apples, a lemon, 5 different peach trees, and 5 different varieties. Aprium, which is a cross between a plum and an apricot. And I actually got to get another one of those. I have 2 pears, 4 grapes, 3 different varieties. A jujube. Anyone had a jujube?
Yeah.
Jujubes are great.
It's so
They're great.
what is that, a bush or a?
It's a tree.
It's a tree.
It's a tree. I have 2 different jujubes, but one of them is I'm sending to a house I have in Utah.
No idea.
Strawberry, lots of strawberry plants, and a pineapple in a pot. And then a moringa. Moringa actually is tough here because I've had 2 moringas and they've all died, but I'm getting another one because
Open house.
I'm going to put it in a pot close to the house. But a moringa is going to solve the nutritional crisis in the third world.
Moringa, oh, yeah.
Moringa, because it's very drought tolerant and it's the most nutritious tree on the planet.
Oh my goodness.
And you put your blackberries in pots?
No. And in fact, this year I cut them all to the ground because it was getting out of control.
Because we tried to do blackberries and my husband's like, well, I'm going to put them in pots because they're so invasive. I'm like,
They are.
I don't think it's going to work. And
I have
it doesn't work in the pots. I said,
Well, they will, but it's just only using Miracle-Gro soil. But no, I mean, yeah, they'll grow in pots, but yeah, they're very invasive and you got to fertilize. And when you put it in a pot, you have to realize you're controlling its growth, so you have to feed it more, you have to water it more, it takes more inputs. So, but yeah, they will. All right, here I have some stuff for you guys. I have a couple of these in here, some compost tea, some fertilizer. It's called holly tones. That means it's for acid-loving plants. So if you have blueberries or evergreens or holly.
What else is an acid-loving plant besides
Basically,
blueberries?
evergreens, rhododendrons, azaleas, camellias, blueberries.
Edible, just blueberries.
It's probably something else, but that's the big one that I can think of. Some little packets of fertilizer. These are kind of cool. There's 6 per thing, so if you're buying a 6-pack of vegetables, you just put one of these in the hole below the plant and it feeds it all season long. Or if you're planting tomatoes, they're heavy feeders, so you get, you need to put a couple in there. Sluggo, which is good slug bait. But if you have decollete snails like I do, like I said, decollete snails are the snails that eat snails, you don't want to put this out, they'll kill both of them. If you're going to start a plant, this is great stuff. It's a fertilizer with mycorrhizae and other biology in it. And here's some liquid humic acid. Anyone feed birds here? This is, oh, this doesn't work for hummingbirds, but I know if you ever have a bird feeder like a Niger feeder to feed the finches, which are great because the yellow finches come and they're so cool. You put this in the bottom, and because otherwise the seed gets just grungy at the bottom. And this prevents that from happening. But if you
Does
don't
that
have,
help if you feed, do you feed the birds so that they are not eating your plants?
you know, I hate feeding birds, but I was at a show once, and I'm a scrounger, and so I got all this free bird feed and feeders, so I started feeding the birds, and now I love feeding the birds. But I will not buy bird feed. If I don't get it free, they don't get to eat. No, they'll still eat the plants.
They'll still eat the plants.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I gotta. So it's funny. I have bird feeders in my yard, but then I also have bird scare features in my yard.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm very
wanted to ask
schizophrenic on my
about.
birds. Like
Now, how do you protect your fruit from,
I let them have their share.
well, yeah, with
you
the
don't have a
100
lot of
trees, I mean.
fruit.
Yeah, it's well, and you gotta some things you gotta put netting over, which is too much of a pain for me. So you put bird scare tape up, but it works up. Everything works up to a point, but for the most part, a motivated bird is gonna ignore everything, you know. So they're gonna come and get some of your stuff.
okay,
Tin foil.
I've never had a garden, anything. I just want to do something to make my kids happy. What should I grow this spring?
Peas, well,
Peas.
but it's almost too late to start peas. But if you can go buy some peas and put them in the ground, because peas, get sweet peas, they're great to eat off the vine. You just pick them and eat them, and they grow easy. But just realize once it gets warm, they're done.
They're toast.
Tomatoes.
But they grow pretty fast. Tomatoes are fun.
Tomatoes really good.
Tomato worms, my chickens love tomatoes.
Do you grow melons at all?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Corn.
the soft corn, yeah, everything. Everything I can. Actually, I didn't grow corn last year. Because corn takes up too much room
Yeah.
for what you
For
get out of
one
it.
thing,
Yeah,
I
good
know.
point.
So I hate growing corn, but my wife likes growing corn. And I grow potatoes up. It's nice to grow potatoes up. But,
Okay.
I don't know what's up for.
Oh,
yeah.
How do you do
Vine?
that?
No, you basically, when you plant potatoes, potatoes are like tomatoes. They're one of the few plants that you can cover them and they won't die. So for example, if you get a tomato and it's too tall, basically plant the tomato, most of the tomato under the ground and roots will develop. You do that thing, the plant will die. Potatoes, you plant the potatoes, the seed potatoes in the ground, and then you dig a little hole, and then as they grow, you cover them. You don't cover them completely, but you cover them. And then I actually have some wood boxes that I put on top so that way I can grow them even taller. And it's
Oh.
never worked quite like it's supposed to, but I think because I haven't fertilized it enough in the past, and so we're gonna try it again this year and see what happens.
So you just continue to add dirt
Yeah,
as
and
they.
that makes it easier to.
How do you? Okay, wow, that's
And that's
cool.
why when you plant tomatoes, dig a hole down. Yeah, and that way, you know, you don't have to pile it as high.
That's
So if you
awesome.
keep piling, then when the tops die, then you pull them out. Yeah, so we always miss potatoes. That's why we have potatoes every year. You know, they had just starters, but this year I'm gonna grow the purple ones because those are cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I have some liquid compost. Oh, and some mycos. There's some mycos. So anyway, any more questions? Oh, and then this stuff's supposed to be amazing. It's a so I can't give it to you. I won't know, but this stuff, it's amazing what comes out. It's just fish emulsion, but it's they added a plant growth enhancer that they discovered growing on rotting pineapple in Hawaii, and it's supposed to stimulate plant growth up to 30%. So I'm anxious to try it this year. Anyway, so I think there's more stuff.
Do
in
you
here.
have a website,
Yeah,
an email?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Do you
That's
want
what
to
I
give
have
out your email?
I'll get
Like,
on
where
my
are you
email. Or
at?
just call me. I have some cards up here.
Okay, good.
Call me and I'll ignore you like I do everyone else. I ignore my customers, so I'm definitely going to ignore you guys. No, I won't ignore you.
Where do you work? Like, what's your?
I work for Central Garden, which is the biggest garden distributor company in the country. So I sell stuff to nurseries.
So do you contract out like yourself? Like if somebody, a private person wants help?
I know, that's what, I know. That'd be
I'm
great.
I'm not that smart.
Come do a diagnosis.
But yeah, no, you can call
Well,
me.
we're not maybe either in this area, so you're looking really smart. So considering, you know,
Yeah, that's true, I guess. No,
You
I'm
should,
sure.
Marty. Yours will
It's
count.
it's just common sense, but if you want, you can call me and I'll come out, but just realize that I'm so far behind in life, but I'll try. I'll try to come out. And so if you call me, you can pay me if you want. Make me a key lime pie or something like that.
Ah.
See, that way it'll go bad, not here in a week, key lime pie might be gone.
you bring the line.
Yeah.
I can only grow in pots right now, so what can you recommend that's best to grow in
If
pots?
you can only grow in pots, I would look at buying the earth box,
Okay,
because the earth box is basically a self-contained system that you buy soil, the fertilizer comes with the earth box, but the soil doesn't, and basically it's a special pot where you mound the soil up, you put the fertilizer in and then cover it, and then you plant along the edges, and all you have to do all year long with that, it has a hole coming out that you just add water every day. And it makes it so easy to grow in pots. I have one of those in my backyard right now that I just got tired of. I was supposed to give it to a customer and they went back up, and I never got it to them, so I thought I'm going to use it because I had another presentation earlier this spring. And I planted it up, and stuff grows easy in it. So if you only have pots, consider the earth box. They're a little bit pricey, but it's so easy and so self-contained, and stuff grows really good in it.
Do you have an herb garden then as well?
Oh yeah, I have
Oh, we should,
I
yeah.
have an herb garden, and my herb garden, because everything goes to seed, I actually covered it with shade cloth, and it's in a big about a 4x6 planter. So so I did have herbs in there.
And you said to remind you about varieties. Did we
Oh,
already
that's
go over
right.
that?
This is the greatest little book, and I wish I had more. I tried to get more from this Dave Wilson Nursery, but if you look at this, you can see. Let me put my glasses on so I can see, and I don't mean to keep talking so long, but so for example, all these right on here are apples. And so, if you love apples, you can start getting apples in June if you plant this variety, and then July, August, September,
Awesome.
October. So my two varieties, I think I have one early and one late, because I like peaches the most. I have peaches that go along. So that's the thing. So that way you can plant more varieties, and you just
longer.
a longer season of harvest. And also you can look at this. Okay, I like this one, so we can get peaches as early, or apricots, peaches, whatever, as early as May and June. But then we want persimmons out here, so you can get fruit virtually all year long. And unfortunately, when guys in my job don't make a ton of money, but don't make enough. But so sometimes I just buy whatever's cheapest. When I first started the job, I didn't deal directly with nurseries because I was working for the manufacturer, and I had a different job. I worked with co-ops, and so they don't sell plants. And now I deal with nurseries a lot, and I'll trade them for plants, for plants. I get samples, and when I'm done with the samples, show them, then I'll give them 3 or 4 plants. So now I can get all kinds of good varieties. But originally I didn't. So my yard's a mishmash of great varieties and questionable varieties.
So what's that book called, or that little
Basically,
pamphlet?
I will give you one, and if you want to copy it for your people,
Okay.
and come up and look at it. And like I said, I tried this guy, Dave Wilson, the guy, I can't remember his name. But he also talks about how you can plant 4 trees in one hole.